after bathroom. Isn't it true? What is he using to wash his hair? Natural. My student from Pakistan, by the way, in 2006, she went with full scholarship money, research assistant money. What is the research project? To show that clay is a good cleaner. From deductive logic, it's obvious. How do you know? From deductive properties. Most important cleaner agent is water. Second most important agent is clay. So much so that naturally, I'll give you this ingredient, even for facial, for cleaning your face. You can share with your wife. The best one. Clay, honey, lemon juice, and olive oil. Keep for 5 minutes. Then wash. Best facial. Your skin will remain soft for whole week. Just what don't you. You cannot patent it because they're all natural ingredient. I discovered that in 2008. Here I talked about this Turkish activist who died later on. So we're doing this natural alternative to everything, but this is the best facial. So not only it is just regular cleaning, it's for beauty care, best one. So that was the original cleaner. What happened with that?
One question
Yes.
here about the composition of clay. There are different kinds of clay.
Yes.
One
In
is
Canada, they sell different qualities. So the one I bought
red clay.
was the white clay. It's aesthetic, like it looks good, but it was pre-sold. So I don't know what kind of clay you have, but it doesn't matter. It should not have organic matter in it. You see what I mean? It should not have, you know what organic matter is, like leaves and things like that. It should not have bacteria, but even if it does, I did not do the study because the one I used was clay from the shop, right? But here you can find cleaner, not sand, because sand is coarse. Sand it does not do. It has to be fine clay, real clay, right? So first, that's our honey. The first one, soap with inorganic sodium ions. So original soap, anybody knows? Alkali, the word alkali is Arabic word, comes from Arabic word. Does anybody know what this is? Ash. Ash and olive oil is the first natural soap. Nothing wrong with it. So you do not have clay, you can have olive oil soap with natural ash and natural olive oil. That is still okay. So that's what we call organic soap. Then they said, well, wood ash is very difficult to get, so we'll add sodium hydroxide. Is it halal anymore? No. Bang, that become our sugar. You see the process is still olive oil you can have, but it is contaminated. We have introduced facade there. Then next level, soap with synthetic oil. So olive oil is no longer, so we have introduced synthetic oil. not real oil. Then, that's not enough. When they start to find out soap is terrible for you, it dries up and all this nonsense. By the way, you have shampoo and which is worse. That's another label. But soap-free soap is the most modern invention. Soap-free soap. Like soap became the enemy. What kind of absurd thing is that? If that's not enough, soap-free soap, what does it have? It has no soap. It has no sodium hydroxide. It has no synthetic oil. Everything is completely synthetic. That's not enough. What they came up with? Hand sanitizer. Remember during COVID time, I saw a guy making wuzu. Actually, it's a real case. And he was an Emirati guy, and he became furious when people are commenting that's haram. So what are you talking about? It's kulli halal. This is not wine. Then, what is the hand sanitizer? 97% alcohol. Not only wine, it's not even wine. It's alcohol, synthetic, which is a lot worse. Then we came up with carbon tetrachloride. We call that dry cleaning. So all of a sudden, the most useful cleaner to most toxic chemical. And we are calling that the progress. The mashallah, we have very good engineering going. Even in toxic matters, those are, it started with halal, right? 100% halal. Even with 100% haram, anybody has doubt that wine is 100% haram, right? Even medicine is haram, Prophet said. It's a disease, right? So even in haram, even in intoxicant, what is the ruling of Prophet Muhammad? Even if you have 1 drop of intoxicant in a barrel, it's still haram, all of it. You remember the ruling? Even there, we start off with organic wine, then non-organic grape wine. So the grape uses fertilizer and pesticide, so that source became polluted. But it's still wine. Then it's spirit, purified. You know how whiskey is made? It's distilled, so-called purified. And mashallah, now all of a sudden from 5 to 10%, we are talking about spirit that's like 70% alcohol. You purify, and that's why you cannot drink too much spirit, too much whiskey. You have just a little bit, and you add ice on it. That's not enough. They introduce synthetic alcohol. It has nothing. So everything is artificial. From honey to aspartame. That's not enough. See, synthetic alcohol, you're washing your hand, right? And making wuzu. They are telling them those are good for you, medicine. So from honey, which is cured as a medicine by Allah, we have transformed that into pharmaceutical drugs. Look at the science of it. It's worse than synthetic alcohol. And now you tell people, how is it halal? So what are you talking about? It doesn't have wine. No, it's worse, a lot worse. Even in hashish. What is hashish in Pashto? Yes, hashish and opium. You know, Afghanistan is famous for centuries. So many wars happened because of the opium. That was nothing compared to what happened to it. Opium to cocaine. What is cocaine? Anybody knows? It's purified, right? It's purified. That's not enough, but cocaine at least has the ingredient, right? The source. Fentanyl. Today, Actually, yesterday, Trump administration imposed tariff on China, 5%, on Mexico and Canada, 25%. Why? Because they are allowing fentanyl to come in. You wonder in 2000, when was that victory? 2022 or 21? 21, right? The victory coming to
21.
2021 or 21.
so 90% of drugs were coming from here. So everybody said, what happens now? What happens to United States? Who provides them with weapons? Because it was obviously from Afghanistan. Nothing happened. They replaced mashallah with fentanyl. It has nothing original. It's all synthetic. See, even in haram, they have made it worse. This is the magic of shaitan. Trust me, pharmaceutical drugs are worse than fentanyl. All the chemicals used in pharmaceutical drugs to pacify or to put them to sleep, to fight addiction are worse than fentanyl. And that's the drug killing millions of Americans every year. Worldwide crisis. And yet it's FDA approved. Pharmaceutical drugs are FDA approved. There is a driver for it. People, humans are not stupid. What drives them is the money. Always is the money behind it. That's why we talked about Surah Baqarah verse 96. The greediest of them is the greed. I talked in the beginning, what is the most important trait of Bani Israel? They are very greedy. Allah said that they're greediest. They're greedier than mushrik. It's the lust for money. This addiction for money has destroyed us. Remember what Shaitan promised? I'll invoke desire. That desire is for money. Why? We'll come to why. But what happens with this graph? It shows you have honey, sugar, saccharin, aspartame, and nothing. At the end, it's nothing. They are selling you nothing. It's the brand name. It's the FDA approval. It's the stamp halal. How much does it cost? What product do you do by stamping halal? You do nothing. You're just sitting there stamping halal, you're making money. So you're making money out of nothing. That's the infinite profit. And who is making that profit? The guy, the sheikh or mullah or whatever, Bani Israel scholar, by sitting there stamping it. They are making the money. And they know, Allah has repeatedly said, they know, still they do it. So this profit, you make very little profit with honey. You made lot more money, profit by sugar. Saccharin, even more. Aspartame, even more. By selling a brand name, standard, and all these other things, you made infinite amount. That's why we call that HSSA Hassan. This is Shaitan's scheme. So what does it do? That we discussed. First time we identified HSSA was in this 2007 book, Economics of Intangibles. Here in energy we have discussed again and we show how it is done with money. We had original gold standard, which is honey, right? Even for currency. Then became coin. What is the coin? It doesn't have the real value because the king stamped it. That's why it has a value. Establishment said that's why. Third one, paper note. It's paper. It's not even metal. But king said, this is the money. Government said, this is what it is. Therefore, it became of value. Then it degraded to e-currency. It's nothing. It's not even paper. That's when we can have trillions of dollars. At the same time, you have no control. Tomorrow, they can block your access and you cannot get the money, you cannot send the money, you cannot use any money because somebody has blocked your e-transfer. So this is the magic of shaitan. They take the control from Allah, control from that Allah has given you, has given to shaitan. Allah controls everything, now shaitan controls everything. That's the purpose of HSSA. Last week we talked about, we saw the decline. So this is a very important phenomenon. See, DeepSeek, all of a sudden wiped out, we talked about it, $1 trillion from the market. How much time did they take? In 2 years. 2 years. Only $10 million invested. How many employees? 200. Cost? 0.14 per minute. Few cents. OpenAI, which was the chat GPT to everything else, 10 years. They invested $6.5 billion. They had more than 4,500 employees. And their cost, $7.50 a minute. Even in bad guys, these are bad things. This is artificial intelligence. You can improve. What is the ratio? Like 100 times. You can improve your productivity even in bad things 100 times. And they wiped out, even with bad artificial intelligence, 100 times productivity. What should be the productivity of Muslims? But we're busy copying the West. We feel very good that, mashallah, I have downloaded and this is how this is done. Americans are doing it. Even Chinese do not believe that. And Muslims are a lot better than that. We should be targeting, even if somebody tells you 100 times, you say, no, that's not enough. We have to do better than that. That should be our focus. And if it's true for this artificial intelligence, imagine what happens in medicine, education, finance sector, everywhere. Our productivity can be 1,000 times more. Only then, if you recall, who could have guessed that the small caliphate of Medina would take over both Persian and Roman Empire? Could you imagine? What comes to your mind? Which other nation defeated both Soviet Union and US? Anybody in history? You have to go back to 1400 years ago to see that kind of success. Allah has given you that. But you should not focus now that we'll copy from Roman, we'll copy from Persia. Our productivity has to be better than anything else. Otherwise, Allah will take away the khilafah. And this is why I keep saying that you cannot target, you cannot look at the West and say, I'm going to copy that technology. It's insane. It comes to every sector. And that's the example. Day one, I said, if you are based on real science, your productivity would be immeasurable. Afghanistan will become the leader in every aspect. Every aspect. Now we'll the vaccine story will tell you next time. All right. So we'll close at that, and in 2 days we'll be starting at 10:30. Okay. Thank you. Under it, what do you assign?
Yeah. Yes.
Any question?
Thank you so much.
I hope you are enjoying the occasional post I make on the WhatsApp site.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you like it?